Let's face the facts here. I am movie star material. I mean, look at me. I've got the suit, I've got the mustache, I've got the stage presence. I am built to be a star on the screens. But I think the issue is I don't have a movie set. I mean, I've been sending off auditions to various different roles, and I've just been standing in this rather big field. I mean, it's a nice looking field, but it's not particularly professional. So today, we're going to be constructing a Hollywood movie set, and it's going to look amazing. Now, I'm just going to warn you, this build is going to involve a whole ton of piston feed tapes. This one right here is going to be the first one, and this is going to be the backdrop. Now, we've got two 8-long areas of blocks right here that are 5 blocks tall, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add in a line of sticky pistons facing into these blocks right here, and then we're going to have a whole bunch of regular pistons just in that gap, just like that. Then on this side, we're going to have a bunch of regular pistons on this block, and a line of regular pistons facing in this direction right here to create a 2-wide piston feed tape. Now, to actually wire this thing up, all you have to do is take a monostable circuit, and we're going to take a repeater output from that thing, and we're going to run a redstone input into it, but we'll worry about that in the next couple seconds. And then we're going to turn this into a kind of zigzag of slabs that is going to take that redstone output upwards. Now we're going to run the redstone going across just like this, and that's going to go straight into these pistons and also straight into these pistons as well. But then we're also going to take redstone out and around just a little bit like this, and we're going to run the redstone directly into those pistons right there. We're going to place in a repeater set to 3 ticks, and that's just going to go out and round just like that. So do the same thing on this side, making its way round, redstone, and then a repeater set to 3 ticks, and redstone dust just like that. For the other side, it's a fairly similar process. Once again, redstone running in and redstone running in on this side as well. All of these pistons should be powered by that. And then we take the redstone output out and across like this. But we are going to have to do something slightly different right here, simply because we have got pistons next to one another. So instead of having redstone on this block running into this piston, we're now going to have the repeaters right here, but that means that our bottom piston isn't actually going to be powered. So what we're going to have to do is we're actually going to have to punch out this block and then drop it down by 1 block, place in an upside down slab right there, and that will allow us to run redstone all the way across and round and a repeater set to 3 ticks into that bottom piston. Now the top layer is exactly the same as the other ones, it just makes its way around like this, and there we go. We've got ourselves a completed redstone circuit. So if you fire it into action, you can see that when we hit the button, it will transport blocks across and around. That is exactly what we want this thing to be doing. So you can see that slab up at the top right there is being transported around, and this thing activates incredibly quickly. I mean, listen how fast this is. Really, really fast, and that is essential for what we're going to be using it for. So now it is time to start work on the next piston feed tape, and we'll worry about the decoration in a second. This one is going to require a fairly big hole in the ground. We've got 6 blocks mined out going across like that. It's 4 blocks deep, and it goes the full length of our original piston feed tape. Now we're basically going to be mirroring this thing right here, but flat. So we want to go up to this block right here. We're going to place sticky pistons facing upwards all the way across, and then we're going to have regular pistons going across just like that. And then on this side, we're going to have something similar. So we're going to have our regular pistons that are going to be facing upwards on that block right there, going all the way across just like that. And then on this side, we're going to have our regular pistons facing across just like this. Now that's going to create a piston feed tape that is going to be running in this direction. So going across just like that. For the wiring, I've had to punch out 2 extra blocks on either side. And to wire up our bottom sticky pistons, we are going to be placing a line of blocks and then a line of redstone on top and a line of repeaters running into those sticky pistons. And then for the top section, we're just going to have standard regular redstone dust. And then on the other side is going to be the opposite. So we're going to have a line of blocks with redstone dust, and then we're going to have a line of 2 wide blocks going all the way across like this, with repeaters running into all of these pistons and redstone dust out the back. Now you may be wondering why I haven't done it on this layer right here. So we just have redstone running across just like that, but we're going to have some piston action going on in this area right here, going across on both sides, so we can't be placing redstone on any blocks like this one. Just watch out for the future of the tutorial. To connect these up, once again, all we're going to need is a monostable circuit. So we're going to be running a redstone input into that one, and then we're going to take repeater outputs on both sides, and we need to make sure that these pistons here activate first. So we're just going to run redstone into this one, but we need to make sure that we actually add in a repeater so that these two delays match up. And then we just need to take a redstone output and run it across like this and up into the top section. So this is going to have a repeater set to 3 ticks once again, and we're literally just going to run that down just like that on this side. We don't even need this extra redstone line. And on this one, we're going to run it up and across, and then we only need 2 ticks on this system right here because it already has the repeaters out the back. So if we give this thing a redstone input, we should see everything happens very fast. And once again, if we actually put in the blocks, everything cycles round nice and quickly. And I will just stress, do not worry about the decoration, we'll be doing that later on in the episode. For now, we've got one more piston feed tape to build. I can promise you this is going to be the last one. So I've laid out a template for what this thing is going to be looking like. You can see we've got a rather massive piston feed tape going all the way around the outside. And a fun little fact about this thing is it is actually the maximum possible size for a piston feed tape. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 blocks in total being pushed by that piston. This piston is pushing 12 blocks in this direction, and obviously these two are pushing the same number of blocks. Now, thankfully for us, this is the perfect size to actually fit round our entire redstone contraption. So what I'd suggest doing is grabbing yourself some regular pistons and a heck ton of glass. Yes, this is going to need to be made out of glass, and you're going to need to build this up all the way around. Once again, with the wiring, it all starts with a monostable circuit. So I am out the back right here, and we're going to place a block up like this. We're going to have a sticky piston, and this is going to be our redstone input running into it. We're going to take a repeater output from this thing, and we're going to be running that up into this sort of circuit right here, with the slabs just going up like that, which are going to be taking our redstone signal upwards. Now, the important thing about this is that we want this piston over here. This is kind of like the important one because it's going to be syncing up with all of the other piston feed tapes. We need that to be activating last. So that means that this one has got to be the one that activates first, which makes life very easy because we just run redstone across like this, and we run redstone just going across like that, which will power all of these pistons. So that's not an issue in the slightest. Then we're going to take a redstone output from this thing, and it is going to run all the way across, right the way over into these pistons over here. Now, I have to say, we are going to need a repeater on this one. I think that goes without saying because this is a fairly long redstone line. So we're going to take that out to this point right here, and then we're going to place in a repeater set to 3 ticks, and that will send off the redstone signal into those pistons. So I would suggest placing in a block on both of them, and then running in your redstone all the way across into those pistons right the way over there. For this side, it is going to be the opposite way around. So we're going to have blocks once again with redstone dust dots on top of these things, and then we're going to take a redstone output, and that's going to run across like that from that block right there, and it's going to go into this repeater set to 3 ticks, and we're going to do the same thing on this side once again, and that redstone dot is going to be powering all of the pistons. Now you're going to want to place in a block like that, and then redstone, and our repeater set to 3 ticks once again. Then we're going to be taking the infamous line outs just like this, and we're going to be running these all the way across, and right the way out the back here, and then we're going to take it up a block, and run it in just like that. So once again, we're going to need to take redstone out like this, then we're going to want a repeater on this block right here. We're going to need to grab ourselves a half slab to make sure that we aren't powering that piston, because that would be very bad. So we want to run redstone across and then up and across into those pistons right there. And the same thing goes for this side once again. So we've got a few massively long redstone lines right here, but unfortunately that is the case. With large piston feed tapes like this, you just have to have them just like that. If you are wondering how to connect in the redstone line, all you have to do is just run it across and then place it one block further along. Go up by a block, one block further along, and that should be everything wired. And now that I've got a solid block in the system, we can see that this thing is working. Amazingly enough, we've managed to create an absolutely enormous piston feed tape right here, which now I should probably explain what these things are going to do. So this backdrop is going to be cycling. That's going to be the background, things like trees behind us moving past. Then this right here is going to be the road, and then this is going to be things in the foreground moving past, and we're going to be sat on some form of motorbike or in some form of car. So it's going to be one of those side shots where you can see all the scenery going by. I just think that's such a cool idea, and I can't wait to get everything decorated. But first, we actually have to hook up all of our different redstone inputs. Now you may notice that all of the monostable circuits are in perfect alignment. So all we have to do is we just need to run repeaters into each one of the redstone dots. So that right there is one of the redstone dots. Then we're going to need to drop down underneath this area, and actually we're going to need to drop down and go across, because otherwise we will cut off the redstone signal. So that's a repeater right there, and we're going to need to take this out just a little bit like that. Redstone dust connecting up the pair of those, and then for the final one we're going to have a block at the end, and we're just going to run a repeater across into that block, and redstone dust running just across like that. So there we go. This is now connected up into every single one of the piston feed tapes. If I hit this button, did you see? Everything cycles at once. And it's in perfect synchronization. Now we have to do all of the decoration. Two things. Number one, I have run a hopper clock with a comparator output with a repeater into our redstone line right here, which runs into all of our monostable circuits. Now that's going to be controlling the speed of this thing. So when I turn this thing off, you can see that the clock activates and all of the piston feed tapes start cycling round. Now number two is that I've done my first set of decoration, and that is to place in a landscape with some clouds running across. I think that looks really cool, but by the look of things, I've forgotten to remove some iron blocks, so I should probably do that. The next piece of decoration is the road. So we have got completely black concrete, and then we've got white concrete in the center, separated by 2 blocks. So it's 2 blocks of black, 2 blocks of white, and once again, if we flick this lever, we should see... That looks amazing! I'm really happy with how this is looking so far. Now all we have to do is add in the foreground of things traveling past, and we will have ourselves a super awesome movie set right here. Oh, I'm over the moon. Here comes the final test. You can see what I've done is I've added in a skybox, so we now have like a skybox going all the way around the outside. I think we could also do with like a little bit of sunlight dropping in, and maybe replacing some of these clouds here. Yep, there we go. So we've got ourselves a sun, we've got the road going across like this, and we've got all of our decorations going right the way round the outside. So, here comes the final display. Everything is cycling round. And there it is. That is brilliant. Can you imagine shooting like a film here? So you have your guy. He's in the center, and the whole set is moving around him. I mean, I don't know if I'm easily pleased here, but I am incredibly happy with how everything has come together. This thing looks absolutely awesome. We've got moving foregrounds, we've got moving floors, we've got moving backgrounds. The whole thing is fully functional. If only we had completely clear glass, I'm sure this would look completely insane. But I am still chuffed to bits with how this has turned out. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later. Oh, and by the way, check out the latest film on the filming channel. I put tons of time into it. I'm sure you'll love it. Just go ahead. It's on the end screen.